Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and Sharon Davis, the Executive Director of the WASP World War II Museum, is our guest. And we've been talking about what the WASP is all about, but we've also been talking about a Veterans Day celebration that's coming up on November the 13th. But before we go too much further, I want us to talk a little bit about this Congressional Medal that was cast and awarded on March the 10th of this year to the living WASP and to their families of the deceased WASP, and how important that was in the history of the WASP.
Johnny Lou, when the WASP program ended at the end of 1944, when the men started returning from the European theater, the WASP were sent home really without any military benefits. They were considered to be civil servants. And so they did not get military recognition until 1977. Then they were given a few benefits. They could then be buried in a military hospital, be buried in a military cemetery, excuse me. They could use a VA hospital, and they could be buried with a flag on their coffin. Up until 1977, those things were not possible. But so then they went on for another 65 years without much recognition until last July of 2009, Public Bill 111-40 was signed by President Obama, awarding the WASP the Congressional Gold Medal, which was a wonderful thing. They are only the third military unit that have ever been awarded this Congressional Gold Medal, the other two being the Tuskegee Airmen and the Navajo Code Talkers. So, but the very first Congressional Gold Medal winner was George Washington. So it really put them in a category with some fine American citizens.
And I want to say one thing about this is Obama signed the bill, but it was a congressionally sponsored bill that was led by our Texas delegation.
Yes.
Kay Bailey Hutchison and some of the other people in Congress really felt very strongly about this.
Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison proposed the bill. All of the women in Congress got behind it immediately, and most of the men. In fact, it went through Congress and was approved more quickly than any bill in recent history, which really speaks for to the importance of our World War II veterans and the contribution that they made. Tom Brokaw was on stage to help present the Gold Medal, and of course, he reminded us that they are the greatest generation.
Right. And I think the other important thing is that the history of these WASP was absolutely wiped away, and stored, all of the information was stored in the very deepest bowels of government until and they didn't push for it, but others pushed for this to be part of history, not just a footnote in the textbooks. And so then they've come a long way in this length of time.
They have.
From not being recognized to being given the Congressional Gold
They
Medal.
have, and it is a shame that so few of them live to see that recognition. But it was joyous on March 10th of this year when they were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal that 150 of those beautiful women were able to travel to Washington, D.C. to receive their medal. But in addition to that, about 2,200 family members of the deceased WASP also were in Washington to represent their family and receive the medal for their family that the government issued.
That was a special day.
It was wonderful.
Now go back to the Veterans Day celebration. We're of course, let me just reiterate, on the 13th, if you haven't pre-registered, and we want people from all over Texas to come. You've already got a lot of people registered from other parts of Texas. But to come to the hangar, which is well marked on the highway where to exit at Sweetwater, or just before you get to Sweetwater. And then when you get off, you'll come to Hangar 1 and sign up and have an opportunity to look at this valuable, wonderful, interesting information. get everything together for the walk or the run, whichever you're going to do, the 5-mile run or the 1.3-mile walk. And it costs $25 to sign up, and the run actually starts at 1 o'clock, but come by 10 o'clock that morning so you can see everything else.
And I should mention too that we would really love to have high school students, youngsters there, and so we're offering a $20 registration fee for students and military. If you pre-register online at waspmuseum.org. Okay. I will remind them that they go to Next Event on our website, go to Next Event, and then click on Timing Specialist, and that will give them the registration form. Also, be happy to send them one if they would like to email me at waspmuseum@yahoo.com. waspmuseum@yahoo.com is my email address there at the museum, and I can mail out a registration form.
But then the day will finish with a 40s era dance.
Yes.
With a big band.
Yes. We have a wonderful big band. The Sweetwater Municipal Band does a beautiful job of 1940s music for us out at the museum during Memorial Day when we have our big WASP homecoming event. And so by popular request, they are returning on November 13th for another 1940s era dance. We want a crowd there. We would love to have some swing dancers there. We expect to have some, as a matter of fact. And we encourage those coming that evening, even if you don't dance, come and listen to the music. It's just
and
lovely.
look at the costuming, because a lot of the people come in their 40s era clothes.
Yes, we are
or their
encouraging.
uniforms.
Yes, we're encouraging that. We're encouraging everyone to wear their military uniforms if they have that, or dress in the period costume of the 1940s. And so it should be a really fun evening. The museum is a wonderful place for an event like this. We open up those hangar doors to the west at sunset, and of course we get to take advantage of the beautiful West Texas sunset.
I'm sorry that we're going to have to close the program today, but I want to encourage you. This is a sanctioned race, and so it gives you an opportunity to have an opportunity to run, but it also to see have a new experience at that museum, and it'll warm your heart when you see what all these women accomplished that you didn't even know about. So we'll see you on the 13th, November the 13th, at the WASP World War II Museum at Sweetwater, Texas. Contact the information rolling across your screen, and you can get everything else you need to know. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Sunday with another program.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.